Hi, Anne. How are you doing today?
Hi, I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. So my name is Fallon Buckley. I am an intern MSW. I am getting oversight by an LCSW. I just wanted to let you know that I will have some oversight, but what you and I talk about together will be confidential, unless I felt that you were in danger to yourself or to somebody else, then I would, as a mandate reporter, have to report that. But I wanted to know, Anne, how was it navigating this telehealth and getting on?
It was fine. Yeah, I hit the link and it brought me here, and I kind of waited in a waiting room, and then I was let in, and it was easy.
Okay, good. All right, Anne. Well, I wanted to kind of just open up the floor to see what brought you to therapy today.
Okay, so I've just been having like trouble at home.
Hmm.
I I recently moved in with my daughter. Me and my husband did,
Hmm.
and it's just been a lot. I find myself, I think, just overwhelmed with the situation between working part-time and helping out with her three young children and helping out with like tasks at home. Um, my husband and I also put a lot of money into um, like doing up our room and our living area like the way we wanted, just so it felt more personalized and it costs like a good amount of money. So now there's like stress with finances. So it just seems like this whole move and settling in with my daughter, like it's just a lot of it's been more overwhelming.
So I can empathize and thank you for sharing that. First, I want to say I just commend for how much that you've been doing, working part-time and taking care of your grandkids and being able to maintain all of that along with struggling with finances. I know personally that that is difficult. So, and you mentioned that you've been feeling depressed about not having your own space. Is that what you were?
Yeah, I've just been feeling down. I just can't, um, like sad and anxious. I just feel on edge a lot, and it feels like when I'm not on edge, I just am kind of sluggish and don't have a lot of energy.
Mhm.
Um,
What kind of coping skills have you used in the past to kind of help with situations like that?
um, I I enjoyed journaling when I was younger. I think that helped a lot. I mentioned I'm with my youngest daughter, but I also have two other kids. So I've been through some stressful times raising three kids. It's been great, but it was hard at times. Journaling and like spending time by myself, putting myself first, like to do something nice for myself. Not always putting myself in a situation where I'm always doing it for others.
Mhm.
I just thought that would help.
So you had mentioned, I think one of the goals you had said was that not having your own space, like the living with your daughter, and taking on additional responsibilities. If you had a magic wand, so they say, or they call it the miracle question. If you were to wake up tomorrow and your problem was solved, what would that look like?
Um, I'm not exactly sure, but I am like open to there being multiple answers, right? Like I think one, I would either just stay where I am
Mhm.
and be able to deal with it better. Um, because I'm sometimes I think like maybe it's not so much that I'm living with her, but maybe it's all the tasks that I take on to help out around the house that maybe it's harder to live there than it would be if I just didn't do those things. Or moving out However, that's different. I just try to gather up everything and move. And I'm not even sure if my husband would want to do that. But yeah, either getting my own space or being more intentional about the space and time that I have while living with my daughter.
Okay. So those are all great ideas and goals. What have you done, let's say, in the past when you've been stressed out or in stressful situations that could help now kind of navigate through this kind of like family dynamic and living situation?
So, um, I remember when I had a toddler, my first daughter, and then I was pregnant again soon after. And I just was really sick with my second pregnancy for some reason, and I wasn't able to do as much for my child. And it was to the point where like I had to really implore my husband to do more around the house. I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't able to do these for the both of us anymore all the time. So he had to I spoke to him. I was like, listen, I just need help. The doctor said that she's like, I can't be up all the time doing all these things. Like, you're gonna have to step up. And it went well. Like at first it was hard and he adjusted well. And, I realized that I was nervous to ask because I don't want to be seen as like a burden to anyone. I just want to take care of things myself. But he was really eager and willing to help once I asked. So like right now at the house, like it's not the same situation, but I do a lot around the house. He doesn't really do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I guess I could ask him, really just tell him how I've been feeling and explain that I just can't keep up with all these tasks alone.
Mm-hmm. What, and I think that's great. What do you think if you asked your family that or told your family? Because I know that you've been kind of not wanting to tell how you've been feeling about kind of regretting moving and everything. How about opening up and telling them about that? What would that look like? Do you think it would be received well?
Um, I'm not sure. I think so. Um, again, I think I'm just so used to doing things on my own and thinking like if I don't do it, it won't get done that I take it for granted. But I also recognize that my daughter having me move in, like, yes, there's like kind of the free babysitting aspect, and I get to spend a lot of time with my grandkids, which is fun. But I know that's not the reason that she allowed me to move in. Like, she wanted to be close to make sure, like, if it happened, be my husband and I would be okay, and
Hmm.
um, just for our like well-being. So I think if I pulled her aside and told her like I don't feel well, I think she'd be open to it. Um, Probably encourage me to take better care of her. She is really understanding.
Hmm. It sounds like you have a really supportive family. Um, I mean, you do a lot for them and they do a lot for you. And then it sounds like there could be some open communication there. Um, I wanted to ask too, we call them scaling questions. On a scale kind of 1 to 10, 10 meaning you're very confident about the problem, which would be, living with your daughter right now and struggling financially. And confident that the problem will be solved, and then 1 meaning not confident at all, where would you score yourself kind of like during our session today on like how confident you are that the problem could be solved?
Like a seven,
A 7?
seven, yeah.
Okay. And then to play devil's advocate, how to increase that score by 1 to be closer to 10 to meeting that goal? What would need to happen to increase your confidence?
I would need to be honest about what I've been experiencing. And no one knows. I just kind of hide it and keep it to myself. And honestly, like if I am open and it's not receptive, not received well, that will push my decision making in one direction. And if it is received well, that'll push my decision making in another direction. And either will, get me to where I need to go. But right now I realize I'm in a stagnant place because no one knows the truth of what I've been experiencing.
Mhm. Okay. And I think I've heard a couple of times just like realizing some patterns that you truly like to take everything on yourself and kind of hold it in for the better of the family. But it sounds like that's kind of starting to eat away a little bit at you. Um, are you taking any type of antidepressants at this time?
Yeah, my doctor has me on something. I forget the name, but I don't take it every day. I take it when I need it.
Mhm.
Um,
Well, I think that you are doing great by advocating for yourself and seeking therapy to find out why you're feeling this way. Um, Again, I know we talked about your family and the support that you've given them and vice versa. And it sounds like there's some opportunities for you to have your own space again. And how we navigate that so the problem can get, resolved. Um, so I was wanting to know a little more about your relationship with Jack. You had mentioned that um, you guys have struggled financially. Has he been there for you during this difficult time with living with your daughter?
um, I mean, he's there physically.
Mhm.
Um, and he like emotionally maybe. Um, yeah, I mean, he hasn't really been there for me, like emotionally, I would say. Like financially, yes. However, we still have like little money between us, but we do put it together to like even though we have separate banking accounts, but if there's a purchase we have to do, like we both take half from it or whatever, more or less. Like for example, like I do all the grocery shopping and then I pay for all of that on my card. But
So it sounds like in the past he's kind of been helpful when it comes to paying bills and making sure everything gets done. You have said that in the past when things are um, tight, difficult with payments and billing, that somehow it happens and that you guys are able to get it done. So that's a
yeah,
huge accomplishment. Um, have you so I think that at this session I've learned a lot about where you are, and I would like to kind of dive in on our next session about with doing it's called a PSS, it's a perceived stress scale, and I think that would really help us navigate kind of how you perceive your experience um, and how you cope with stress. I also think that administering, it's called a GAD, which is like a generalized anxiety test, would really help with anxiety symptoms you're experiencing regarding your living situation and kind of help navigate on goals on how we can increase your mood and expectations for your living arrangements. How does that sound?
yeah, that sounds good. I'm open to that.
Did you have any questions or concerns about how this session went?
No,
Okay.
it was good. I'm excited to get this figured out.
Well, Anne, you're on the right track. It was so nice to meet you. And I look forward to our next session.
Nice to meet you too.
All
Have a
right.
good day.